Hello and welcome to Bakerstreet.coasters live. Now, earlier I did this. It kind of fell to a shambles. Shambles. It reminds me of my holiday. Anyways, so I went to the Alton Towers resort yesterday, the 2nd of June, and it was for their last day of the Cbeebies land 10-year anniversary birthday thing, and I got to see Justin Fletcher, because Justin Fletcher, an amazing Mr. Tumble guy, Justin's house, I got to see him for free technically, so that's pretty cool. Now, that is on later on. So the first thing we did as we walked in was go to Galactica. Now, why do I keep putting God did? Like, what is the meaning of this? Love the top. Yes, I know. Nemesis merch right here. Hashtag secret. No. Hashtag go away, because that's what the guy said to me when I said hashtag seek the truth. So yeah, we went to Galactica first. Now, Galactica, smooth ride, very good. I cover it all in my whole POV, which my sister is going to edit, so shout out to my sister. Why not? Now, my whole review on Cbeebies Land itself and its 10th year anniversary. Now, one thing I didn't understand is that Andy, this guy from Cbeebies, he used to be on our screens ages ago, fuzzy hair, I forgot his name. But basically, he was inside the Cbeebies Land area, not on stage. Now, as we know, Mr. Maker, the guy who's no longer on stage and people thought is dead, no, he's still alive, guys, and he's still talking to his shapes. He was also on stage throughout the whole week. I didn't get to see him. I got to see Justin Fletcher, and then my brother also had a photo with the rest of the cast, but they were also on stage for the Cbeebies Land party. Now, with that in mind, the whole area of that big Cbeebies Land area, because it's literally on the field as you go in, it marks out the towers and everything. Brilliant. Saw Mr. Tumble, Oozy Boozy Bar, had eyes, Pim struck, hello Maddie, as a slushy hut, couldn't have been happier. Now, I do agree, it was so funky, like the whole area was just so funky, and it's like, really? And I also love how they have the teepee. Now, it does wet the view of the towers, because as you walk in, you normally get this amazing view of the towers in the background. You've got battle galleons on the side, and you've got the Smiler, but the main view is the towers and also the lake. Now, the fact that they've put a tarpaulin there, whatever it is, over the top, it's okay, because it covers a lot of people if it does rain. And yet again, that's something we always need, and we always need that there, because if they invest that, now I don't know if that's going to stay, but if that does stay, that will be very beneficial, because it's like, even in the colder months, it would be very cool to see that stage be lively with people actually under those tents and watching the entertainment, because normally if it's raining and the entertainment's on, people aren't going to watch the entertainment because it's raining, of course. They're going to go home because nothing's open. So keeping that TP event. Now, I don't know if that was there because BBC invested in it, and if the BBC did invest in it, then, well, yeah, it kind of makes sense to me. Adrenaline Thrills says, I have heard that apparently Thomas Galactica entrance signboard, that on the back it has a secret Nemesis seek the truth symbol. So this did. So Adrenaline Thrills, this used to have a hashtag seek the truth. It is now being washed off, unfortunately, which is very concerning. But yes, you are correct. Now, I have said this in the past that Galactica definitely needs a change, and if it doesn't happen now, it's gonna soon fall out of place with the rest of the area, with the new ride. And it just doesn't make sense. It just, it's already fell out of the area, should I say. It's not a dark ride, it's more fat air. And like people have said to me, it doesn't seem to be anything, it doesn't have any correlation to Galactica or Cosmos at all. One thing I did like in the Smiler takeover last year was that they put in a astronaut thing. Now, this astronaut thing was like Smiler, it was all themed with yellow and white. It was like a spacesuit of some sort. Now, that was pretty cool to see. But then when they took it out, it kind of just didn't add to that whole theming. It was like, great. Like, there's just nothing here. And the fact that this queue has no cosmic theming to it or any element, it's just plain. And it very much reminds me of Air, which used to be its original design, its original practitioner. And then, well, what have I said? It just isn't there, the whole theming of it. You expect it to be something like flying through the air, and then when you go to the station, you've got someone named Eve, who's your artificial intelligence, the most accurate artificial intelligence, coming to you, and it's like, really? I mean, you wouldn't suspect that to be themed to, apart from the entrance sign, in the rest of the queue, it's just awful, and apart from the soundtrack, it's just no. So if this does get themed too, and it'd be very cool to see a theming in that queue line, because it's probably one of the worst themed queue lines and doesn't make any sense at all. Because yes, you've got gate 1 and gate 2. It makes sense with that, but when you're looking at the roller coaster, you just seem like you're soaring through air, and it very much reminds people of air. Now, what did make Galactica in 2016 was the fact that the VR headsets, and the VR headsets were where you had to put them on, and it was the first designated roller coaster to have VR, but apparently that didn't work out well during COVID because I had to clean it, and the maintenance for them was quite high. And then they decided not to put it on every row, and you have to pay for them. It was just awful. So yeah, if they do theme up Galactica, and like you said, if that thing is true and it wasn't just a false thing, it would be pretty cool to see some sort of phalanx theming to it, and hopefully it happens after the new ride comes along. Now, talking about the new ride, I also got told, and I didn't add this in my vlog, but it's a bus stop, according to the guys, and apparently Percy is in the Bahamas, and they're going to pick him up when they get a part of the helicopter. Now, I don't think that... Adrenaline Phil says, Thomas is awesome, and he deserves more. So if you ain't already, then give him a follow. Thank you so much. Also, I have not been to Blackpool Valhalla, unfortunately, because if I did, I would have showed you guys and would have added them on. I haven't been back to Blackpool since I was like 1, 2, so I can't say much about Blackpool, unfortunately. What I can say is it's very good, but that's something else. So with the whole Nemesis area, it's quite cool. Now, Nemesis really annoyed me, and I really did express this with my vlog, which will come up soon, I keep saying. But go and look at my other vlog before, I think it was my April vlog, because, it was also on there. They opened the full queue. Actually, no, it wasn't on my April vlog, but they opened the full queue. Now, yesterday wasn't a busy day. Now, I don't understand why they've opened the full queue. It didn't make any sense whatsoever. But the full queue was open, and the time you got, so when you looked at the queue when you went in, it looked very, very large. And by the time you actually got to the end of the queue, by going through all the queue line, it was like, great. You're at the start, and you've just wasted time. Because if you don't run through the queue, then more of a case of you're either not going to be that far. What was that? Hang on. I am very, very, very sorry about that. What was I saying? I am sorry. I really am. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the Nemesis queue line. How it's so big. Now, the fact that Nemesis is like really, really big, and the queue line is like really big too. I mean, Nemesis isn't that big, but it's in the ground. So if it rose a little bit, if it kind of like risen from the ground, it's big. Anyways, no, now I know what I was on about. So yeah, the queue line. Now the queue line is quite big, and it's very long as well. And I'm there just like really, I don't need to go through all this theming again. And I get it. I get they pride themselves in the queue line and the theming with it, because it's probably the only queue line that's being themed at the Alton Towers Resort, except for the Smiler. The Smiler doesn't even have theming either way, but you roll with that. Oh, and the Curse of Alton Manor, which are the 2 new rides. So promising future to Alton Towers. But like I was saying, once you see it once, it's more of a case of, oh, this is just a very long-winded, and it tires you out so much just getting through the whole queue line, yet alone standing in the queue when you get there. It's just not worth it. And I think it was open because, and I don't think they closed it because the day before, and I know the day before was quite busy, so having that extended queue line is quite cool. But the queue moves really quickly, and they don't need that extended queue line. But they open it just in case, you know, people just say, oh, there's not enough theming in this queue. There's a load of theming in that queue, like literally, there's millions. I'm not even joking. You've got the whole ride to see. Yeah, it's better than the original, anyways. So that was Forbidden Valley done. Oh, and Nemesis of Terror was not open. I think I covered that in my vlog, but yeah, Nemesis of Terror hasn't been open quite a while apparently. That's due to something to do with the flooring, but the Phalanx team on the gate wouldn't tell me anything, so, you know, yeah. Cursed Altar Manor. Now, the Cursed Altar Manor, we rented it twice, and it stopped both times. Now, the first time it stopped, I was also with, it'll come back to me. But yeah, the first time it stopped, we were in the Trummel Tunnel, and literally it was just spinning around us, and we were just sat there in the middle. It was like, really, where did we look? We got the big 12 clock spinning, and the walls were just spinning around. So that confused us, and I don't like that. There shouldn't be a block section right there at all, because if there was, it confuses many people, and people who've got like illnesses and everything, it isn't good. But yeah, again, that's probably the ride mechanism and the block section stuff. But when it restarts, it's really slow, and all the stuff's out of sync until it actually brings back up into sync until the next train's gone into the station. So, you know, that's not very beneficial. But I like the announcements as well. The fact that it goes, oh, unnatural spirits or supernatural spirits have interrupted your ride. It isn't an announcement from the guys. And they don't have to tell you why they stop it. They just tell you that they've stopped it in a themed thing. Not like the Smiler, because, you know, I've also had instances where the Smiler stopped and people have literally, or the Smiler wasn't open and people have literally argued about it. They spent the whole day waiting for the Smiler, even though getting told that the Smiler is not going to be open by both Ministry of Joy and the guests, the wide attendant guys. The Cursed Altar Manor queue line also was absolutely atrocious because all stinging nettles, in a course of a month, a bunch of stinging nettles has just ridden, and that's not even good. Like, literally, I went in there and I had to tell the actors that there's stinging nettles, and I'm allergic to stinging nettles, and I know many other people who are. And if they did not see that stinging nettle, and I was very lucky to see the stinging nettle, if they didn't see that stinging nettle in the queue, they would have got stung to death and would have had an allergic reaction, just like I would, which is not good. And yet again, that's a health thing. I also understand what Coaster Photos said to me. Go and follow Coaster Photos, tag him in. What he said to me, the fact that it's going to be abandoned, but at the same time, having trees or any sort of tree grow into the queue line is not good, because, you know, you can cut yourself, you can sting yourself, and it's not very practical either because of hay fever and stuff like that. So that's not good. And I don't like how the actors said to me, oh, that's because one of the actors said to me, oh, that's because I grew them there, and I was like, yeah. It was a new actor as well. They weren't old. I don't know if I covered this. I don't think I covered most of it in my vlog, but it's quite a long and lengthy vlog. But yeah, they were new actors. I don't know why they were new actors, but, you know, they changed over. And the backwards guy wasn't the original guy, but, you know, I don't know where they were, unfortunately. But they were quite a nice bunch of actors. Like the person with the plough was a woman at one point, was speaking to my brother, and it was like, she was a very good actor. I forgot her name, but, you know. Now, I didn't go on the Winaway Mine Train, unfortunately, and I didn't go on Congo River Rapids, was closed, and I have a really good video of the fact that they literally turned around to me and they went, well, stop asking me, go and answer your own questions. That's literally the words they said to me, and I was there like, that's pretty rude, can't lie. Like, a staff member literally turned around to me and went, go and answer your own questions, don't ask me, because I don't know. I'm there just like, really? And then my parents getting told different, saying it's not going to be open for like the whole day because they don't actually know why. But I got it really, really rude, and I'm there just like, really? That's not very pleasing, and that's not very pleasant either. The fact that people just, you know, staff members. Now, I get they were annoyed, but at the same time, they should have approached everyone as a gentle and sufficient way. But with me, they did not, or with other people, they did not. People, it's just little things like that put the ride experience off for people. Now, Congo River Rapids was full at one point, and then it stopped, and it was like, great. Wickerman, we didn't go into Wickerman, unfortunately, so I don't know. I've been on that multiple times, and every time we've gone into the queue, it's always broke down, so, you know, it's, yeah. Battle Galleons was open. That's another good water ride. We didn't go into Mutiny Bay. Don't tend to go into Mutiny Bay much because it's just like, Spinball Wizard, didn't go in there. 60-minute wait for Spinball Wizard, no. Smiler, no, just no. Get rid of that ride or retrack it. I swear to God, how does someone have the Smiler as a top one? I don't understand. It doesn't make sense. But like literally, I sat down on my first go, right, and I had bruises all on my arm. That's how bad it was. I don't know if it's got some bruises there now. And then the second time, I literally put my feet on the ground, and all I felt was vibrations from my feet. That's how bumpy the ride was. I'm not even joking. And it was like, even on that Heartline Bowl, I hate the Heartline Bowl so much. Now, I know I'm complaining. We went into the single rider queue. It's got good views in there, and you can so tell the single rider queue is very, very new. Because, well, not very, very new, but it wasn't put there before because you have fast track, you have single rider, but it looks like they've all been added up and they've cleaned up. Now, none of the Smiler has been cleaned up at all. The track's dirty, track's rusty, track's literally, it just feels like melted metal. And I've said this in my vlog, and I've said this before. If you're going to get a good roller coaster and make it the 14-looping roller coaster, inverted roller coaster that it is, make it with a good track, because I know it was the first Gerstau Infinity, but if Alton Towers is seeing this, please go and retrack that ride before anything else. I don't care about any other ride. That ride is really dangerous, like especially for the ride person being there, because if you have something wrong with your legs or anything like that, you're doomed. I'm not even joking. Like even I had issues with my legs when I came off that. I wasn't smiling at all. I couldn't stress that enough. Even Rita was smoother than the Smiler, and that is saying something. That's me expressing my views of the Smiler. It is so, okay, it's officially my top 25. It's not even in my top 25. It's like out of it, unfortunately. But I've got to ride another roller coaster now at Pizza. But yeah, literally, I hate the Smiler so much. How is it an existing ride? Now I get it has that world record. It's very good in what it's done. It's very good in its compact area. But at the same time, if you have a ride that's so jolty and awful and it's really not accessible for everyone, it's not good. There were also people on the ride that had to get off. So on the second ride time, now it was me on my own because my brother went a single rider and I got put on before him. Now I was there and these people couldn't get on the ride. Now having this ride not have a strap to it or some sort of belt, the fact that it doesn't even have that or a double belt is not very accessible to everyone, because you look at the Smiler, no, you look at Oblivion, you look at Nemesis Reborn, you have a double belt on some trains to accomplish everyone's weight and everything. But on the Smiler, it's literally no belt. It's literally just harnessed down. It's an over the shoulders harness thing. And I'm there just like, really? I don't suspect the fact that everyone should be able to ride a ride no matter what, unless something like extreme. But I mean, I felt so sorry for these people, because then I was sat on my own with these three people then leaving, and I'm there just like, really? And then that also caused empty seats, because what they could have done is, for the 3 people that left, they could have added more people on to the speed of the queue times, but apparently they don't do that, and I was there with empty seats next to me, and I'm there just like, really? So that's not very good, and that's just atrocious. Now, the whole ride is just rubbish. Throw it in the scrap department place. I don't know. Now Oblivion wasn't open, and I felt really, really jealous, because people at the top were getting evacuated from Oblivion. Now, the fact that you get evacuated from Oblivion is like so special, because it's the highest point in the whole park. And also, you have to pay £80 to go up there for a climb, and the fact that people get evacuated at the top of the lift hill before you actually go down is quite cool. Now, I wish it was me, I can't lie. I've always wanted to be evacuated from a ride. I thought I was going to get evacuated from the Curse of Ultimana, but apparently not. So, yeah, that's not very good. And someone get me on an evacuated ride, or someone throw something in front of the train tracks. Throw something in front of the track, just to stop the ride. Actually, don't do that, please. No, that's a bad idea. So yeah, Oblivion, we didn't get to go on that first time. We then went to Flavio's Fandango, very squished area, and I didn't like the illustrations either. They were a bit, they were very exclusive. I don't like them. But yes, Flavio's Fandango, Flavio's Fandango. It's a tongue twister. Flavio's Fabulous Fandango. Very good not roller coaster, very good flat ride. It reminds me very much of the Retro Squad, and it's just a twist ride, I didn't cover that in my blog, unfortunately, because it's not a major ride. I don't like the area and where it is. I don't like many stuff about Alton Towers at this point. I don't like the area it is, and the fact that it just comes along as a old Retro Squad ride, because it was literally installed when the Retro Squad was here. If you don't know what the Retro Squad is, go and watch my other videos. I've told you multiple times I don't like them rides. They've got rid of them anyways. Oh yeah, and I'll tell you in a minute. But Fabulous Fandango, no, just get rid of it. Just get rid of that whole area. Now, one thing I did see was that there was work going on behind Flavio's Fandango for the new ride, Project Horizon. They've got lights up there now, but they haven't cleaned out anything. But they've got, like, I don't know, like a skip truck or something. Is Wickerman a good coaster? Now, I have been on the Wickerman. I didn't go on the Wickerman yesterday, but the Wickerman is a very, very good coaster. If you like a good wooden roller coaster, that is the one to go to. It's very extreme, very powerful. It's not as extreme. It hasn't got the highest G-forces than Nemesis Reborn. However, it has some really good G-forces, and I'd say it's probably the best wooden roller coaster in the UK. Now, many people may disagree with me about that. Like, many people are going to argue with me about the Smiler, but at the same time, I can tell you now, it is a very, very good roller coaster, and it has some really good theming in it as well. I mean, the whole theming is the track itself, but also as you go along the queue line, the sound, listen out for the sound, because it kind of gets darker as you go through. It goes do 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 do, and it goes dum dum do 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 do, and it goes well, not like that, but darker. I can't do it because my voice is a bit dead. I'm killing my voice even more by talking. Oh yeah, so talking about is Smiler still the world's most inverted roller? Yes. So the Smiler still has, after this, so it was 4 days ago, and yes, it is still the world's most. No, it is still the roller coaster, the world's first roller coaster with the most. No, the world's first 14 the world's first roller coaster within 14 inversions. It's a world record, and it still stands there for 11 years. Nobody has tried to beat it since, because, you know, nobody's UK, unfortunately. Now, people are going to look at this and go, I want to build a 15 looping roller coaster. No, I think it's because of the G-forces on it. Anything higher would just kill a person, I think, or would not blank someone else. I'm not sure how it works, but that's what I suspect. Many people are going to disagree with me again. Now, like you said, yeah, but the Smiler is just a piece of melted metal. I'm not even joking. It looks so fine. They cleaned up the correction device, which lies in the heart of the Smiler, and then everything else around it is just doomed. Like, give a retrack. Don't spend the money on stupid Festival of Thrills Smiler Takeover. Spend the money on actually retracking that stupid ride. Because who puts? I get the fact they've done it in such a small place, but it's awful. Nah, it's probably the world's worst 14 inversion roller coaster ever. That's saying something. I don't even have to put that in a sentence. What was I saying? Oh yeah, and also in X Sector, which is where the Smiler and Oblivion are, there is these tin cans. Now, if you want £14 or £15 for fish and chips, go for it, because that's the prices they want for fish and chips. On there, just like, really? Rent a mark, just imagine 20 inversions. That would be wild. But I don't think I'll survive in 20 inversions unless the G-forces are quite low in all the inversions. But that can't happen, unfortunately, because they've got to get around without actually inclining. Now, if there was like 3 inclines, different story. Hence why it stops, because it's like, you know, I don't know. Like, second half stops because of banking and stuff like that. No, not banking. Block sections. I'm nearly done with my water. How do I feel? Awful. So yeah, the fact that they have new tin cans. Literally, the Retro Squad rides left us thinking there's going to be a new Retro Squad ride, and now there's like Enterprise, where Enterprise used to be a Twistertron. It's now nothing. So, you know, that whole area is bound to get a new flat ride. Hopefully it's not like Ripsaw 4.0, because God knows what's happened with the other one at Forbidden Valley. I'll tell you in a minute. And then you've got these tin cans which lied where Spin Jam was, or Mixtape, or what was that arm one forgot the name, but it was the arm one. An Energizer was also there, I think. I don't know. But yeah, if you want £14, go to those tin cans because, you know, it's atrocious. The prices are atrocious. They want £3.25 for Fanta. I said this last time. I'm there just like, really? And even with a discount, it's appalling. Who wants £3.25 for Fanta? Not me. That's why I didn't buy. I bought Capri Sun instead. And yet again, that was like £2.60. And I'm there just like, really? I got it for £1.80. And then they're just like, nah. So that's X Sector done, and X Sector was quite cool. And then I bought this top. No, I didn't buy this top straight away. We then went on Rita. Rita was quite smooth, quite good. It was on a 40-minute wait when we went. It seemed a little bit less than that. And I'm really pleased they didn't open their extensive queue line, because whoever put a bunch of wood and just knocked down a bunch of trees and decided to put a bunch of wood in the queue line is absolutely appalling, because we don't use that queue line anyways. I've never used an extensive queue line, and I don't want to. It looks atrocious. It looks worse than any other queue line I've ever ridden in or been in, because it's like, it's just a bunch of logs like the Wicker Man, but it's just like, how does it go? And it goes somewhere else, and I'm just like, really? There's previously only two, I'm sure, travelling top spins in UK, Nitro and top spin. What are top spin? Oh wait, top spins, yeah. Yes, Nitro and top spin are the only two. Now, with Whipsaw being top spin and it being hinted back that it's coming back, then this one won't be travelling, hopefully. Hopefully it's just going to stay permanently, but it looks like they've got a permanent flat ride on the horizon, because they've kind of put the storyline that way, and they've kind of made the planning permission that way, and it's also going to be on a concrete footer. And the fact that it's going to be on a concrete footer, it very much shows that Project Ocean will be permanent and staying where it is, unless they don't nail it down to the concrete footer. Then that area could be anything. People can also walk under it, but where it walks under to, I'm not sure, because it's like a dead end, so it doesn't make sense, unless they are making it for the Bunker 94, which is like their shop where you come out of. But I'm not sure how it goes, unfortunately. Yeah, again, it's only cool that it had Bunker 94, but it rhymes. But at the same time, they are missing caps for the flanks. Now, Nemesis, every other roller coaster has a hat apart from Nemesis. That's how much in demand they are. They've also run out of bolts from the original Nemesis, which I find really weird, because, and apparently in 2 weeks you were only able to get hats for Bingy Bobbing. I have my hat somewhere off Wicker Man. That was £12. Don't understand it. £12 for kids and £15 for adults. Really? And are we fitting kids? I don't understand their pricing at all. It's a bit atrocious, if you ask me. We didn't do 13 was 75-minute wait. People in front of us on Rita literally asked, is it worth waiting 75 minutes, because they were going to Orlando next week or something like that. I was at, me and my mate were like, no, like, if you want to wait 100 hours for 13, then go for it, because most profoundly it did close, and then it reopened, and then it closed, and then it reopened, and somehow it was walk on at one point, advertised at 110 minutes, and I'm there just like, 110 minutes. There wasn't even that many people in the park, and I wouldn't think they want to go reach 13 anyways. We then saw Justin Fletcher, amazing guy. Saw him on stage. Then we went back to Oblivion. Oblivion was good. Very short-winded. Didn't get evacuated tonight, unfortunately. Only had a 5-minute queue. Wide smooths. I don't know what they're going to do with the retrack for it. That's for another video. And then we went back to Galactica and Nemesis, and I got a video of the Nemesis and Galactica station stuff, even though my parents tried calling me, so, you know, some of the audio and the Nemesis outward station thing kind of got put off. But I will post all them later. I am going to go. I think I've talked too much, and my voice has literally going to go. Nitro is scary. Adrenaline Phil says Nitro is scary with just lap bar and chest restraint, but not full shoulders, and it feels like you're going to fall. So it's literally like that, and like